13-4 loss. That said, Gen.G looking to make a statement here and extend this to a map 3. I think, you know, as far as TSM goes, this is I believe this is their map pick, and I think this is a map that they, you know, they've traditionally been extremely comfortable on over the past several months.
Just look at this composition, by the way, Lex. GMD is going to be bringing out that Breach. He has been, besides Shazam on Ascent, he has been the guy to, you know, bring Breach back into the conversation. In beta, it was like you couldn't see a single composition that did not have Breach involved. He has a lot of utility. He has a lot of options that will presently, or at least you would hope, would help Gen.G here. And I'm sure that TSM is aware of this, given GMD's affinity for that particular agent. Now, though, on this pistol, they're just playing some angles. Now, what's interesting is that they gave up C because they have a camera there, and they gave up Garage completely.
Yeah. And this info is going to be passed over to Sabros, but the B hit is now pushed in, and Effys and Win are there to open it up. Wardell and Drone fall, spike down. The one actually in front of the bomb site gets scanned, and Win thinks he has a free one, but Color has other ideas. Trading things back out. Effys falls as well from a one-tap headshot through the wall onto Cutler. Now coming alive, and the Sabrosa flank through Garage has finally arrived, and there's a second. GMD gets deleted. Oh my goodness, Cutler and Sabrosa going absolutely massive on the pistol. And that was Gen.G thinking they had a lot of map control and a lot of room to work with, and then getting the door closed in their faces.
Yeah, credit goes to Cutler there for surviving that fight. He knew that the challenge was coming. He was scanned, but even though he removed that recon dart quickly, he was able to level that crosshair exactly where he needed to be, because regardless of the fact, right, that player had to jump down, and he knew that sound cue was going to be coming in order for him to take that fight.
And those headshots from Sabrosa are so clean,
one tap,
so crisp. You love to see excellent mechanical work out of the young fragger early on in this second map. Played tremendous in that last one, but you know, series is not over yet. 3 players immediately pushing down long C out of the Gen.G side, looking for some early eco aggression. They find the entry onto Cutler, getting a weapon out of his hands and suddenly finding the man advantage. The question is, will TSM react by moving towards the A bomb site right away? But no, Hayes and Wardell shall hold. They're going to hold on to this weapon as long as they can, and they're going to find and farm these eco kills. Drone to the rescue as well. Wardell doesn't even fall despite being on a one-hit jet situation, and Effys can't find it. Hayes closed it out on a PL1. Omen on Omen action to end that round, and now it's 2-0. Clean eco from TSM. Great reaction to respond to that Cutler long C death, and suddenly, you know, that was a situation where you could have had some miscomms across teammates. Maybe some players leave to move towards the A bomb site and don't cover each other on the way out. Instead, Hayes has second thoughts, turns around to cover Wardell, and it ends up being a great hold instead of a near escape. And now moving into the first gun round, we've got Win on the operator, and this will be the bonus coming out from TSM.
All right, we're going to see what they end up doing. Also, the fault line play to just try and slow down any kind of aggression that could be happening over on C. A lot of investment is going to be put here on C. Another thing of note is that Huynh is going to be in the glass cannon state, no armor, but will have himself the operator to just hold down a site from heaven. Cameras, though, are played around B to continue to give some protection there. And I think Cutler may have gotten the indication. Yeah, he did. That player 1 was tucked away inside of the platform. But as an Omen, he can get out of that position with teleport if need be. Yeah, they're just waiting to see what this move is going to be for TSM. But some information has been gathered.
Sabrosa has moved all the way up long A, so he knows now that most of the A bomb site is either left to a single solo defender or perhaps vacant entirely. Actually, when walked off the A bomb site, as I said that. Yeah, a lot of times you see Cutler playing off the B bomb site here for TSM on Haven. It's an interesting, kind of unique way to play the Cypher on this map, and they do it very well. That said, the A push, the contact is coming up now. The curveball is actually going to catch Win right off that angle, and unfortunately for him, going to have to burn that dash and fall back to CT. This is going to have to be a full-on A-site retake from the Gen.G side.
Still manage to have all of their players left alive, but so do TSM. Now the spread's going to come through in this post-plant positioning. You're going to see Cutler just going back over toward the flank, just patrolling that area and ensuring that they're going to be okay. Nice little cheeky shock darts there from Effys to push people back on the site. Still no damage has been applied as Wardell is watching his doorway here. Paranoia is through, though.
Yeah.
That is going to be your opportunity for entry. And the Aftershock's going to force Sabrosa back for the time being. Wardell does not get the shot on Win. And while that's going on, Mikhail does manage to take out Sabrosa. More kills going in the side of Gen.G, as Drone won't be able to do much business here. But Cutler around the flank, he was the man that actually swung all the way around. Thankfully, though, for Gen.G, they managed to stop that. And even through that best effort of TSM, that wide flank that they went through to try and catch him off guard, Paranoia was really the answer there for them to take that site.
You know what? I think the breach, I was almost doubting their decision to, you know what, we're going to completely fall off this. It's like, you know, we're going for the retake. You don't have the tactical advantage in any way whatsoever, so you have to use your utility to gain a foothold on the site. And that Paranoia, once it comes out and it catches that many players standing on those default boxes, I mean, immediately you saw 3 kills coming out from the retake. And wow, just Gen.G able to clean it up in what previously was a messy and uncontrollable situation over at A. It's a clean plant. Win had really no opportunity to get a kill. And as I say that, he misses an easy one on Hayes. And the aggression coming out from Gen.G, while it maybe was a little bit greedy, Hayes punishes it purely on the fact of his aim. Boomer still got it, finds 2, and now it's a 5-on-3 situation. And TSM off to a strong start again in this game.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hayes, did you have Wheaties today? What did you eat for breakfast?
The man just knows. Smoke goes down, PL throws 1 jiggle, and that's all it takes. Hayes rips his heart out. 5-on-2. You've got the breach and the Cypher on GMD, and Michael don't think they're going for it. Probably won't even necessarily play for the exits. As actually they're already both towards back to the
there's just nothing they can do. That's done. The round's done. Hayes basically neutralized that round from the get-go. And it all started with that first kill on Huynh. Huynh got aggressive. And I like the fact that he got aggressive because he was doing that on Bind, and it was paying off for them a few times. The thing is, though, is that it's Hayes, man. He manages to hold a better angle there, you know, a little bit on the offside that Huynh was just simply not expecting. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see the replay right after this round, but it seemed like Huynh was holding the angle, was very aware of the fact that he could get swung on, and had the advantage, and it was just a matter of timing. He took a few steps, and I think Hayes just swung on it at the perfect timing. And wow, I mean, the wherewithal to understand, like, okay, you got the first clean kill, but maybe I post up with the operator after I grab the second, and the fact that he gets the free one on the PL through the smoke, the dark cover is not enough cover, as it were. 3-1 commanding lead right out the gate for TSM. Things are looking good. Yeah, that was the swing there, and then this follow-up kill. Effie's was waiting for Hayes. Just the fact that Hayes held this the whole time, and he just went for the shot because he was like, well, I'm going to move, and then he gets the confirmed kill. You're like, okay, that was great. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Able to save 1 weapon on GMD. You know what? This is one of those situations where if your team can't buy and you do have a weapon on at least 1 player, maybe formulating a plan around him to maybe find an entry would be ideal. That said, they have blades too to work with, right? So it's not like they just have 1 weapon. They actually have 2 here, but the problem is Huynh has to hit these shots, and Sabrosa has all the confidence in the world to push this, and he does so with the gusto that you'd expect from someone like Sabrosa. Just challenges Huynh while he has blades out, and Huynh was just stuck there, blinded, and nowhere to go. Sabrosa just having a field day, farming it up over here at B. A perfect curve ball on the front of the bomb site, pushing into A-Link. I thought we were playing Valorant and not Animal Crossing. He's out here just farming. Having a good time, man. Holding W, clicking heads. And this will definitely be a TSM round now. And once again, the same 2 players will be in a save situation on Gen.G. I'm not quite sure what, if anything, there is to be addressed in the way of maybe fixing the strategy for Gen.G. They've tried a little bit of mid-aggression. They've tried giving up B entirely. And I think, you know, when it comes to playing the B bomb site on Haven, you know, it's difficult, and every team has their own little variation. We've already seen, you know, some teams borrowing tactics from one another, as I mentioned earlier. But I think the breach is really the kind of... Oh my gosh. That hurts. Why did I even mention it? I really was about to start talking about breach and how GMD is going to play him in a unique way, and he dies to the bomb. I feel responsible in some way. You are responsible. I don't know, it's your fault. It's entirely your fault. Well, anyway, now what do they do here? What does Gen.G do? You tried to get aggressive on C, got punished by 1 man. forget about what happened in that last round because that was a pure save. Yes, granted, Sabrosa just went in to be free despite the fact that Wynn had blades out. Their options now are going to be grossly limited here, and you're even seeing it in the way that they're playing it. They're literally just playing angles. Like they're just waiting this one out, and Wynn is just trying to go for a cheeky pick. Effie's looking to maybe open up some vision here. Does manage to get a tag, but Wynn dies early, and Hayes has been a thorn of his existence.
Yeah, and unfortunately for TSM, like their patient play, as you're stating, is definitely one of those a change of pace perhaps in what Gen.G is expecting. They've been punished 3 different gun rounds now on their aggression on the defensive side, and I don't fault them for it. I mean, it was working on Bind, and it was certainly an opportunity for them to gain some early confidence in this map, and they're definitely, I respect the opportunities that they've given themselves, but unfortunately it just hasn't panned out. The headshots have been coming in hard for Hayes and co as they've punished it each and every time, and it's almost been easy for TSM in this regard. So the fact that they get that opening pick onto Wynn, who's just getting a bit too greedy outside the garage doors. GMD actually catches one onto Wardell, who's also doing the exact same thing in the same spot. 4-on-4, both operators down for the teams, but the C push comes in. Hunter's Fury out of PL1. He's not going to get out of there with a teleport. Just can't get that off quick enough, and unfortunately for GMD, he's caught out for it as well. Drone is just having such an impact on both these maps, and this round is no exception.
Well, and let's not forget, too, the amount of work that he had to accomplish there, right? He had to remove Hayes, who was TPing in. He had to remove the recon, and then on top of that, he had to try and get that teleport off in time. This is actually, though, going to be a winnable opportunity for them, as if they do manage to apply some damage here. Oh, my goodness, no. I was going to say, they apply damage to Sabrosa, giving Effies an opportunity to swing and allowing them to worry about the player on long. The issue is that it's TSM. They just always find their mark.
Yeah, when TSM is on, you can almost always find them playing those post plants and those mid-round like crossfires effectively. They're not always challenging together, but they're certainly ready to swing at any opportunity. And that was a real opportunistic retake chance there from Gen.G. You almost had the wallbang kill for free. I believe that was on to Cutler on site. That said, regardless of who it was, the fact of the matter is that Gen.G is now down 5-1. They're definitely not out of this half, and we have a lot of map left to play. But nothing that they've been doing on the defensive side has seemed really to effectively shut down what TSM is doing on all parts of the map. So looking for an answer now is Gen.G, and we'll see whether we get one in this round.
They're making a lot of noise. Camera, he's basically stayed in this state the entire time.
Vacant A bomb site, almost complete. Well, it is completely clear.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's empty through and through, and they're going to freely be able to go in here for the A plant. The question is how they go in for this. Now, a few shock darts actually does apply some damage to TSM and forcing them back just a little bit. They do have some weapons to try and take this too. Look out for that player in heaven to be a difference maker. Whether or not GMD can cause a problem with aftershock low might actually be something to force back, but Hayes is going to hit this. He's going to hit this Paranoia here. They know exactly where he is. He gets rivaled Paranoia in turn. He's still going to be holding Hell, and with an Ares trying to challenge that around the corner, they do manage to get 2 kills because Michael goes in for the swing now. A few shock darts are out. Sabrosa, beautiful kill onto Michael, preventing him from being able to be an issue there. 1 player left alive. It's Wynn. He's got a shorty. He's just playing the exits. He gets 1 kill here. That actually could be quite beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, for an eco round, this isn't the worst hold, and the fact that they go for the retake.
And everyone died on TSM side.
Yeah, even if you had a gun or two, I mean, the 1 round that they've won in this half off of Gen.G, or from Gen.G, has been the A retake when it was 5-on-5 situation, almost identical to what we just saw. So the Paranoia came out, the counter Paranoia came in, and it delayed just enough to where the players from short were able to mount a sizable defense. But at the end of the day, TSM extending their lead now, 5 rounds, 6-1. And Gen.G still does not have an answer. And I don't, dude, I can't wait for the Immortal Minds episode of the Sean Garrison DDK analysis.
We know Sean's watching.
Analysis of this game, because there has to, both maps, there has to be several different tells that TSM is baiting Gen.G with. The rotations and the reads are always wrong. Sabrosa trades onto Effie's, who gets one onto Cutler. But Wynn's over here, stuck in a corner, and Sabrosa, I guess, was wise to it. Drops the Molotov, and Wynn actually plays directly into his crosshair. Wow, excellent play there. And I thought Gen.G was finally going to come into this round with an advantage, and suddenly it's 4-on-3 instead. Wardell over here at the mid-window, just surveying the area with the spike in hand. Opting to play this round out slow is TSM, but I believe that is hazed all the way up along C, breaking some trips. causing a little bit of a nuisance. I imagine he's going to throw a TP in here to join his teammates on A, but it's almost as if Gen.G is inside of their minds right now. They have to realize that this fake is an opportunity for them to maybe either save if they gamble, and if not, then at least potentially win the round, and they find the first kill. It's a 3-on-3 now.
Oh, man, if Mikhail managed to get that kill, but Wardell's going to go back in for the challenge. And they're aware of this, right? They're aware that Wardell will go back in. That's why they ended up playing this one slowly. Now that that kill comes through, it gives them all the intel that they needed. What I like about this is that they have Rolling Thunder to try and retake the site in case things go wrong. And then player one's going to be playing the flank as well. This actually is winnable for Gen.G if they play their cards right here.
This is a must-win.
Fortunately, that card was not played very well. They knew exactly it was a bluff, and they knew it that they had the advantage. But Mikhail could actually be the difference maker here. Problem is that Drone's going to be coming around the corner. He has to stay alive just long enough to be able to give them this round win. Just stay alive a few seconds, and a big kill from Mikhail is going to clutch that round, man. He just needed to hold this one off because Lord knows that they could have found a way to get that spike down with enough time.
All 3 frags coming out from Mikhail there at the end there were astounding. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, GMD, Kimon getting in that situation where he's, okay, we have to have this ult work. This has to come in clutch. This has to finally get some use and actually, like, play into a retake. And he's there. He's ready. He gets bopped immediately. And so the frags coming in from the trades on the Cypher, just beautiful shots, excellent mechanics across the board.
That round so bad.
And TSM, honestly, from start to finish, that round was played so well. Breaking the trip, throwing the fake back towards A, double faking A, and then walking into an empty C bomb site. I mean, that is when Haven really gets fun, is the constant messing with the rotations and these long, drawn-out rounds. You know, I hope that the viewer at home, we're telling a good enough story for you guys to understand how beautiful that was. Excellent round, a lot of fun to watch. Mikhail and Gumon actually getting the first 2 kills now, and TSM suddenly in a 2v4 situation. Gen.G inspired by the last round's performance from Mikhail, and suddenly this is a winnable situation and an opportunity to get back in this half. Another kill coming out from this deadly Cypher on the back of the C bomb site. Mikhail with another 3-piece. Closing out another round for Gen.G, and suddenly they're back in this.
Yeah, this is now a moment for Gen.G to be able to regroup, get their bearings together. That kill on Sub Rosa was big. They eliminated Run It Back on that round, so that free push that they were going to get, that value from Run It Back, was deleted. They're not going to be able to do that every time. There are a lot of ults online for TSM that they can take full advantage of. Hunter's Fury and Run It Back are the ones that stand out to me the most here. We'll see what this stack is going to be for TSM, and it looks like they're going to be favoring A, which Huynh has been spectacular. He's actually woken up now. Last few rounds been a bit of a problem for him. Now we're starting to see him gain that confidence back. He got a really clean shot on that A long last round, and he's actually going to continue to commit here to A and hold on with this op.
Yeah, so smart from Gen.G to just kind of like preemptively understand that playing towards the extremities is what's going to be necessary here, and the dash on the site has already occurred, but GMD is there as the help for Huynh, and he finds one on a Wardell. So now it's Sub Rosa trading onto him, 4-on-4 situation. They don't cleanly have the A bomb site yet, no spike on hand, but teammates are sure to follow. Unfortunately for Gen.G, if you just peek the minimap for just a second, they're not buying this right now. They're under the impression this is going to be a second double fake. Unfortunately for them, it is not. Dark cover comes out over Huynh at Heaven. No pressure onto the attackers on the A bomb site now. The bomb should go down relatively cleanly as long as these shock darts do not delay. That said, bomb is planted. The spike is planted now, and you know, Gen.G has been on this A retake several times in this half with limited success. But there's a lot of pressure now as this half comes towards a close. The Hunter's Fury from Drone into A-Link is absolutely devastating. It scatters them, actually, but only 1 tag going out. So I tracked my previous statement. It could have been quite as devastating as it should be, yeah. And Drone actually coming into the retake. He's going to pay it off regardless. Sweating a bit into this round.
They're going to save.
They're going to have to hold it off, and it is successfully held. Gen.G denied on the retake once again.
They did not have what they wanted there, and had they not lost GMD, it could have been favorable for them. Player one, though, holding the exit and just also continuing to, continuing to build up on ult would also be a plus, but in any case, so they're going to walk away with 2 players holding on the weapons, and yeah, it would have been great. Like, the paranoia didn't connect, but they also didn't have the comfort of being able to push on because dark cover was blocking their vision, and then to top it off, they were not able to effectively play on that retake there because, as I noted, they just lost breach early on.
Yeah, I think Gen.G had the right response to what was on the table for that round, right? Having 2 guys on both the A and the C bomb sites ensures that, if you're going to Sova drone contact up with the team and try and Hunter's Fury in, like, you at least have a crossfire to drop the drone. You get in a situation where you're not going to get cheese ulted by a Phoenix. But unfortunately, the jet dash in is all that it took to get some space in there for Gen.G, or for TSM rather, and to find the entries onto the bomb site. Gen.G not looking the strongest defensively here on Haven. They're going to have a big attack side, but these closing rounds of this half are extremely important just for the outcome of this series. But TSM looking dominant as ever thus far. Spread out into a default towards the garage area. I anticipate Drone is going to make a little bit of a solo play that he has been doing. There it is.
Yeah, it's exactly right on. And then to make matters even worse, he's removing trap wires too. So that has to be very bothersome for Mikhail, because he's placing these trap wires down, and Drone has just been constantly searching for them, getting exactly what he wanted. And then he also just got a little bit of intel as to who is going to be located on B. That's going to give them freedom to be able to make this B push happen. Watch out, though, for Win. It's Win playing a far-off angle with that op. One player did manage to get onto the site here. And GMD's also going to be playing further back as well. So they conceded the site, which I actually think is fine, because they're allowing TSM's aggression to play against them here. Now they're just going to be playing against this retake. They should be able to successfully get onto this here. Oh my goodness, Wardell still takes that challenge. Player 1 goes online, gets himself 2. It's only going to be down the Cutler, but Mikhail handles that one. And now Gen.G, they come out swinging. They let TSM feel comfortable to go onto B side. They had no other choice. As soon as that kill came out from Huyn, they had to make the play for B.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun to watch, man. Let's go, Alonzi. Like the idea that you play off of the B bomb site, you're actually going to play retake entirely. Only really works if you have the equipment to do it and the players are actually sticking to the game plan. Despite the fact that they faked onto B with the drone and then the dart, they actually backed off like they were going to move into a C split towards garage. And then I think it was just like the doubting of the fact that nobody really moved on B. Like, hey guys, the site seems clear. Like, Drone had all the info that nobody was there, despite the fact that they were smoked off at the time. So the decision to move on to B was I don't think it was an incorrect one, but TSM maybe overextending a bit and not anticipating the operator over there at A-Link was devastating. Win finding that first one, able to get the info to his teammates and closing out a fourth. Gen.G still alive now in this half, and some damage traded back and forth. GMD barely getting out of there.
He's got to stay alive. I cannot stress enough. And unfortunately for Win, how is Hayes just constantly winning that fight against Win? Like, and he did it with a Bulldog, by the way.
I think he got aim punched by the Bulldog through the wall, and his op bullet must have gone into Narnia. It looked like it was right on him from my POV at first, but an excellent, I believe, Bulldog burst. Yeah, Sabrosa is actually going to be coming on to C, and there's nobody ready for it, not even me. Finding both Effies and PL1 free frags for the young Phoenix fragger, and that's just like, oh, that's got to be heartbreaking for the Gen.G side. You finally get some life in this half. It's 7-4, and it's looking like a promising round, and instead, the 4-on-4 falls to a 4-on-2, and Mikhail and GMD with it all to do here. The ult comes out off of the breach. The stun onto platform. Hazed is going to fall, but 3 more players left. 2 towards Long B and 1 flanking with a reflank over at Garage. I don't know if this is possible for Gen.G. The shots have to come in, and they do not. Drone gets on a Mikhail. And now Sabrosa, just buying a little bit of time for himself, making GMD waste his. Actually walks right up and drops him with a nice one-tap.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is totally winnable all of a sudden.
Yeah, you can actually force him out of this. Okay.
Oh, not enough HP.
Yeah, he had 23 HP. The Aftershock, though, had he had a little bit more support, that Aftershock could have been a difference maker to force him out of that position. But that is essentially going to do it for the half there. And I think that, the tale of this was Gen.G had good ideas. They were relying on certain elements, but it's Sabrosa again. He was effective in the first half and also effective in the second on bind. But Sabrosa just makes plays. He opens things up for TSM. It gives them so much freedom to do whatever it is that they want.
Right. And I wonder whether or not, I can't tell whether it's a lack of reads altogether or maybe incorrect reads. I can tell that what Drone is doing is extremely impactful in the overall strategy during these rounds. It's making Gen.G kind of second guess themselves, hesitate, and they're either over rotating or not rotating almost at all. And I think throughout this game, I mean, even in that last round, you have TSM in a situation where they're absolutely just playing with pure confidence, and Win actually dropping a frenzy frag out of Sabrosa on that jet. You know, moving up long A quickly is Gen.G. This is going to be a full-on A hit. The Paranoia is going to land on a drone just barely, and he still gets the kill on the Win. This man has been on fire all day, but PL1 and Mikael finally are responding now. TSM down to 2 remaining members. That's Hayes and Wardell on the retake. And this is going to be tough. Tough site to crack.
Very tough, but they do have Paranoia to try and make this play happen. Wardell does manage to get inside of hell! Oh my god! Now it's up to Hayes here. Oh, that was such a great play. Oh man, everything about that, just taking advantage of it, waiting for the Paranoia to come through. It hit 3 people on the approach, and then because Wardell was in heaven, he just waited, descended down, dropped in front. Had they turned that play around in that 4v, what was that? 4v2?
4v2,
5v2, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That could have been winnable.
That was nuts to watch. I mean, it's so fun watching that shorty dash actually work. I mean, obviously it's painful to be on the receiving end of it, but on the other hand, it's so fun to watch. Well done by Wardell, but not quite enough to get the retake on. Gen.G once again getting my hopes up. 8-5 now. TSM still in the lead. I desperately want Gen.G to bring this back into the fold and maybe bring this to a map 3. That said, they've got a lot of work left to do. Setting up the default, spreading the map just a bit. And I started speaking a little bit about it before the action started happening the previous round. Short push coming in. I think it's Wardell's going to get catches a dink, but will not cost his life.
Yeah, the bun managed to protect him. The
Yeah,
bun takes in like at least 2 bullets.
It's no Sage ponytail.
No, it's no Sage's ponytail. Actually, is a damage increase. As a matter of fact, it's a multiplier.
It's my favorite attribute about Sage. I'm kidding. Please, new hairstyles for the next season. Oh man, working up long
that
C.
hair down, you know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Gen.G moving up, top of long C. I love this. Just grouping together on the anti-eco, pushing out of the bomb site with speed, making sure that there's no active resistance, able to mount anything against them out of the hands of the TSM. That said, a nice flash came out. It did not pay off, and the eco frags have been successfully farmed. All 5 players lived with very limited damage even coming out from TSM. They weren't ready for it. Loved the anti-eco call there from Gen.G, and suddenly this scoreline's narrowing.
Yeah.
And, you know, as the first gun round will roll out, I'm sure we'll see Wardell on an operator. We'll see TSM, you know, expecting them to send a message that this round, this series even, will be ended quickly. And actually, now that we're taking a peek at the scoreboard, we're actually seeing, you know, limited performance out of the operator on Wardell. So
I think that's also because Drone and Sabrosa have been
stepping up massively.
Outstanding,
yeah.
You know. It's less so about Wardell and more so about Drone and Sabrosa.
Yeah.
Now, though, as this round commences, Wardell playing this tight angle at the garage door should get this kill on GMD if he pokes this, or even player 1. This is a tight angle, and the advantage is for Wardell, but no one goes for it. There's a lot of respect you have to have if you try and take that angle against him.
Yeah, and, you know, this B presence has actually attracted, okay, only 1 risk hitter now, but seemed like they were cheating over Mikael as well, but you know, Wardell and Sabrosa are still on this B bomb site, so the fact that they're cheating over towards C now, I really don't think the C split is open to them. But Win's going to get a free one onto Sabrosa, who's feeling himself, and he figures, you know what, I'm going to take a stroll down grass, see where the enemy is, and unfortunately for him, the lurk on the jet is just too strong. Picks up the weapon.
They play that advantage very well, but they also have that camera that maybe, like, if they give it just a few more seconds, they might try and play for A, which wouldn't be the worst idea. Obviously, we have that information. Gen.G, they're still going to be playing this, you know, air of caution here, and a cam's inside of B to give them some more knowledge, which they have not taken care of yet. Finally, camera is going to be eliminated, and what I like that Gen.G are doing is they're playing these annoying angles against TSM, knowing that they do like to play those flanks and they do like to play a little aggressive. So this is using their aggression to their advantage, and they've managed to wrestle some guns away from TSM.
Yeah, extremely patient, disciplined play as they're rotating their default back and forth. Gen.G, I mean, I kind of spoke to it and was like, oh, no, that's not happening. But they actually drew the rotators off of B back towards C. There was 3 players over on the C bomb site. You know, they were mounted up towards garage, but then they second-guessed themselves. Like, okay, let's make a little bit of presence here, show ourselves, walk back and walk into B. And that was the Cutler famous off-site B camera that the Cypher that, you know, at least in my opinion, is is something that he does very well on this map that we were able to see on the Gen.G side last half. And it actually, I mean, having the Phoenix and the Jet there at the time, it really seemed like Gen.G was about to walk into a devastating trap, and instead they come around with a round win. 4 players live, and they allow TSM to save these 3 weapons. And at least at this point, like, and here's what I'll speak to on allowing these weapons to be saved. You want to get your economy right? Like, you don't want to be hunting those weapons, losing any guns unnecessarily. So it's not a loss at all that they allowed those weapons to survive. It's going to be a full gun round anyway out of TSM. But I think it's got a big round here for Gen.G at least. I mean, this is a chance to not only tie it up, but put yourself in a commanding economic situation where you can kind of build your bank, max out at 9K, and put TSM into a rough spot where they maybe can't afford to put operators onto Wardell, and that's how you're going to have to beat this TSM team on their map pick of Haven.
Close matchup here.
Timeout coming in?
Yeah, I think there may be a pause. Well, there is a pause, so we'll maybe get some word on that in a little bit. But more to break down, though, is how Gen.G, you know, they've managed to fight their way back into this game, right? There's been a lot of respect. I do wonder, though, because Wardell saw GMD on B, makes me wonder if GMD also saw the barrel, like maybe off the corner of his eye. It would have been very hard for him to see. But I think that coupled with the fact that they let time kind of sit a bit more, they waited, they bided their time.
Yeah, if you're a player, if you're a player in that situation, man, and especially if you're like the garage player or a C rotator of any sort, whether it's off of B or off of C itself, like you're constantly operating purely off of audio. You can't really overpeak the garage position too much. It's pressured constantly, and you have ops to worry about. It's just it's a dicey situation to be in, and so you give incomplete information to your teammates. Sometimes it's going to cost you a round, and obviously once the rotators were pulled, B bomb site is mostly vacant. And, you know, for the side of Gen.G, just being able to kind of like slow the pace down in the round, it drew out, let's see, I think it was both kills that round, right? Like you had Subroza literally walking out of the B bomb site.
Those are
the
flankers that died. Yeah, both kills were flankers.
And being able to have the presence of mind to be like, okay, TSM is abusing the fact that, you know, they're aggressive, they're taking the fight to us, we're never ready for it. Like, let's just chill out, slow down, cover all our bases, and make sure that, you know, if they're going to be pushing into us, at the very least, let's get a trade on it. You know, trades for the attacking side on Haven are so impactful just by virtue of the fact that it's huge and there's 3 bomb sites, right? Like, that's maybe common sense, but when you are able to get the trade and you do have teammates backing you up with Spike in hand, it usually means you have an avenue into a bomb site. Capitalizing splits on a bomb sites, like that C-Link was looking real juicy to split into, and maybe get a free kill or two if this was maybe a chill ranked game. But having the understanding that, yo, we can just win the round for free by going back to B now. Gen.G, excellent call. I've been giving them a little bit of a hard time just from my own perspective, and obviously we're privy to the information that they could never know until after the match. But you know, a lot of these reads that I think TSM is giving a ton of misinformation. They're giving them a lot of false reads and a lot of reason to kind of doubt themselves, at least on their attacking side. TSM was. And so now that Gen.G has the tables turned, being able to kind of like dictate the pace, understand that, like, okay, if we're working this side of the map, this is their reaction. Let's bait them into rotating over this way. I mean, that C pull was so crucial. Just getting them off of the bomb site and out of position was enough to really just move around the rotations in a way that was beneficial towards them. And I hope that for the rest of this half, especially when it comes to shutting down the aggression from TSM, this is something that they can continue to do. I mean, it's helpful that they're not getting dominated at either C or A anymore. We saw, at least when they were on defense, like Hayes was punishing them constantly over at C long for just trying to get aggressive. You know, on the flip side of things, now that they've moved over to the defensive side, TSM is looking to get a foothold and find entries for Wardell around the map, and as long as Gen.G is denying them those opportunities, as long as you're keeping it in a 5v5 situation, or better yet, finding an entry onto him in a trade somewhere else, like, these rounds I think are still going to be favored for TSM, but the fact of the matter is they have a bank now to work with. Gen.G has a real opportunity to maybe start dictating the rest of this half.
But what's actually been quite compelling about this match, when you break it down, is that they've actually been avoiding Wardell like the plague.
I think that's what Dignitas did so well yesterday.
They don't make him a factor.
Oh no, no.
And you know that Wardell's always going to be moving around, right? But if you don't really feed into that, you never really allow Wardell to be that difference maker.
Right. And I think the reason maybe they love Haven as much as they do, they're certainly great at it, but seems to me like it could be Wardell's playground against any team, right? Just having all of the angles that you can potentially be peeking throughout a round aids to some confusion. And wow, on the other side of the map, Hayes finding a headshot on a win. I'm not quite sure where that was. I'm sure it was through the smoke or something down long C, but maybe it was just a dry challenge.
Hayes has been the bane of Wynn's existence this entire time.
I actually we've hardly even spoke. I mean, he had a few nutty rounds, Hayes did, but Hayes has been actually really kind of stepping it up in different ways, and Cutler has had a few crisp rounds of his own. You don't really hear either of the older players being mentioned too much in these casts, and there it is right there, Cutler, the bald man coming up with 2 dome pieces of his own. And you know, we're here for the 5-on-2. It's the boomer round across the board.
Let's go,
dude.
All it was.
Man, caster blessing. We'll call it that. That was great. I mean, those guys are usually unsung heroes, and I hear it constantly across the community, and I'm just going to address it for them on their behalf right now. These guys still got it. Age has nothing to do with how good you are at video games.
You can hear the passion in Alex's voice, by the way.
I'm old.
It's like, please, everyone, understand it.
I just turned 30. I'm still good, please.
Oh, man, that was
good,
a
Lex.
meticulous round.
That's why I'm casting.
I just don't know how Hayes has been able to win that so many times against Wynn.
He's confident, dude. Okay, so I will say this in my own devil's advocate here. Like, there is certain inconsistencies that I think you see in their play, specifically Cutler and Hayes. You know, when it comes to playing against some of the top teams in North America, you don't often see them at the top of the score. But when you do, it's apparent and obvious the impact that they have on this game. Like, the ability and the discipline to make sure that that's a clean round win for TSM and some nice shots. Like, that is something that really, you know, when you have Drone, Sabrosa, Wardell, you don't need heavy fraggers rounding out your support positions. But when it does count, it matters. And huge round from both of them. Hats off to the TSM side for a beautiful round there. And Gen.G talking over this round, finally mounting up some garage control. Effie's droning in there, able to get the tag onto the Omen. Hayes will have to bail. Wardell holding strong at the window position, though, and this is kind of the dicey situation that I was talking about. The rotations around leave these windows of opportunity around the garage and C-link position, and even B, to wander in, maybe get a little bit of map control, and they're actually not opting to do that. Maybe a 5-man long C here. What do you think, Golden Boy?
Yeah, it could very well be the case.
30 seconds left.
They don't have time, but they do have a flash that they can try and force back. Because they know that a player is going to be tucked away in here, but the recon dart is going to be prepared as well. So that's going to reveal exactly where they are. There goes the flash, and they force him out of the position. The second flash comes out, though. It's not going to be enough to stop Drone, at least for the time being, but Cutler's there to respond, looking for one, but instead is going to be met by the barrel of Huynh. Now just leaving Hayes alongside with Sabrosa here. Plant is going to go down in a 2v2. You have Huynh, who is very weakened. And then on the opposite side of that, they also have one more player still standing here for Gen.G alongside Huynh.
Yeah, Sabrosa has this flash at least to maybe be able to get past this operator, and actually Huynh leaves the angle. Very fortunate now. The potential for him to get information is easily negated. Hayes instantly gets dropped. I don't think he certainly heard the direction from where that shot came, but did not see her. Jet dashes backwards, and Hayes
it's just
connects.
player one.
It's just PL1 in a 1v1 now.
He's got
Sabrosa, all the pressure, but PL1 must win this for his team, and there it is.
Play. That was so huge, and Player One's been having a bumpy game against TSM, so the fact that he was able to clutch out there, you know he's feeling good about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so tough in the heat of the moment, especially when you're maybe having a rough couple of days, even maybe not just one map, but several days where he hasn't been performing to what we normally expect Player One to be performing at, right? So having a clutch round where you just absolutely put it all on the line for your team, win a 1v2 in a big way. Nice round from PL1. Valiant effort actually from TSM, despite those beautiful entries coming out from Gen.G. They almost brought that retake back. I mean, the fact that PL1 is left to 1v2 that is actually not a good, sign from Gen.G on the post plant there. That was rough.
Yeah, exactly. But I will commend, though, this breach has been a great choice for them. Clearly, Gen.G have done their homework on how to play this because both flashes were used. First flash was used to flush out whoever was going to be hiding behind that, just so happened to be Wardell. And the second flash was there to actually hold that player back because he knew that they were going to be waiting for the retake, thus giving them more freedom to be able to take that C site. They can use that knowledge to their advantage, right? They know that they have what it takes to be able to end this game out.
Oh,
they simply
flash.
just need to play their advantages, which is what they're doing. Wardell still manages to get the kill on Win.
Almost.
Wardell playing this angle gorgeously. He looks for another one. Finally, player one's going to stop the bleeding here. Subrosa looking to retake this side as Drone picks up one against Effie's. It's just going to be left up to player one yet again in a 1v2.
Oh.
Familiar territory, but this time it is going to be TSM who managed to topple player one, making it 10-8. Oh, man. And that was everything about that actually was pretty darn well executed from Gen.G. The problem was Wardell was still alive.
I mean, it's Wardell with the operator. I mean, the quick scopes are so accurate in this game, and they're so much faster than CS. Like, you can just spin on a dime and own people and watch this. Win gets a full blind Wardell in the corner.
He was
not enough.
And then reset and still had time to hit that shot.
He's full sprinting for both those kills, too. He counter-strafes on a dime at the perfect moment for that second one. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Wow, but gotta be frustrating for Gen.G. Wardell is no joke, man. Like, the dash came out from Win. It was so beautiful. The run it back isn't going to get anything but some information for Subrosa there, unfortunately. But beautiful round coming in from Gen.G at the start. It seemed like that was going to be an overwhelming attack for TSM, and Wardell just shuts it down.
I think Quinn used Tailwind to bail out of there, too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And that will definitely hurt. They can't rely on Win to open it up with Op.
Yeah.
They just simply need to wait this one out now and play slowly. Meanwhile, Drone, okay, so they get some intel, but there goes the Hunter's Fury. Drone's going to just look to engage this one cleanly as Win, he flies into this. GMD's there to back him up too.
Unfortunate. Subrosa did get tagged right away, but he still manages to land a headshot before he departs this world. Now it's a 2-on-3. And what could have been a 3-on-3, a low HP situation, turned awry. That said, 3-on-2, PL1 and GMD once again finding themselves in a must-clutch scenario for the life. Resting on the rest of this half, this round is huge for their economy, and I think this is a situation where if GMD...
That was so sick!
Here we go, the defense is on. Wardell forced into a situation where he's going to get killed immediately. Hayes finds one on Effie's, 2-on-2 now. Both stuck at that hell position. Hayes swings, jiggles once, finds the headshot on a PL1 and GMD with it all to do, and he succeeds
4 kills
with a massive 4K. Well done to Gen.G to pull that round out. I can't believe it. There's been so much pressure heaped onto both PL1 and GMD over the last 3 or 4 rounds, even extending into the last half, where they are just being asked to clutch, and you know what? Every other round, it seems like they're delivering. Well played. Gen.G still very much in this map.
I give all the love to PL1 there, man, because he was baiting out those shots for Wardell, and Wardell was like, you know what, screw this. Cloud bursts on short, cloud bursts on long. I'm going to just dive in and just try and handle this with the blades. But when he looked, PL1 was gone. Back to the safe haven of underneath heaven.
And Hayes sitting at 17 frags, the top fragger in the server, playing out of his mind. And honestly, he looked like he was going to win that 1v2 right there at the end. He dropped PL1 with a nice jiggle peek. And if GMD was just a little bit lower on HP, that second flick to the body may have landed some money. It did not, however. Hayes playing a great game. Gen.G poised now. Oh, man, look at Wardell.
This is where Wardell needs to, I like to use this term, right? This is where Wardell needs to earn his paycheck because he's got that up. He's holding on to the most vital weapon in this round. His teammates, they have scattered buys, not very clean. So they are going to have to rely a lot on Wardell trying to own this round for them. Now, this is great because that drone baits out not only information that you have the Cypher there, you also have the Phoenix there too. And they can actually rotate off of that info.
They need to. There's 3 players on the bomb site, one in garage and one in
they are going to go right into Wardell if they take B.
Ooh, true. You know what, though? I really like what they're doing here. I don't think they're going to break the stack. So if TSM keeps 3 on the bomb site, even if I'm Gen.G, I'm not afraid of that as long as we're executing together with 5 players. As you know. That said, give up any picks and it might be a different story. Win opens up onto Subrosa, and this is exactly what they need to get a foothold in this round. But Wardell is on the way. Drone is here. The kills are not going their way, though. PL1 cleaning house. Drone with 2 massive frenzy kills, and he turns, almost grabs another one at PL1. Not to be, however. Hayes with a classic long range, looking to connect on to Win. Doesn't happen. 3 players survive for Gen.G, and now we're all tied up at 10-10. Close game here. Gen.G, TSM on Haven.
I was a bit worried about what would happen had, I believe it was Hayes, found Mikhail on the flank. That ended up not being much of a factor, though. What it really boiled down to is the fact that they have great initiation because of that breach, and they got so much information. They knew that they were basically going to be tucked away inside. Their options were going to be severely limited, and then, most importantly, they managed to take yet another op away from TSM, thus forcing them to buy. This round is going to be super, super critical here. That's the reason why you're seeing some investment on ults. They want to try and slow this aggression down, or just really slow this play down and give Gen.G cause for the pause. Wardell, he gets that kill against Win,
if
winning
there was
that 1v1.
ever a time for Wardell to come alive in this game, an
right there.
Entry right here, when Gen.G is poised to break your money in the rest of this half, potentially putting themselves on tie point, like you mentioned, like this could be the rest of the game. Stepping up, finding one, down long B towards grass. Wardell, excellent start on the round. Gen.G a little bit more desperate than they were a moment ago.
They got some information that Mikhail was pushing up on A, so that's why you see 3 players hanging out here, because they have been grouping up and trying to execute and just get a little aggro on sites, but it's just going to be Mikhail here at A, right? B is wide open, but they have camera. That Cutler cam that worked for them in the last round, although it wasn't the win that TSM would have wanted, it was still a little bit of information that they could have benefited from. And a big kill there from Mikhail actually gives them neural theft, and now the jig is up. They know exactly where they're going to be.
That's so huge. I mean, the fact that he just got that kill, I don't even need to address it. It's ridiculous. But there's only 25 seconds left in this round. Gen.G has the read. They should be moving quickly now together towards the C bomb site through garage. There has to absolutely be trades coming in immediately, and there's just not. Hayes has them lined up, and he can't connect. Wardell must win this right here. 1v2 on the site. 8 seconds. It's not going to happen. 3-on-2 now. You've got Drone. You've got Cutler.
Mikhail's on the flank. Mikhail's on the flank. He's going to be the one that we got to keep an eye on for here, but they're both going to be able to push into the site. Now they know Drone gets 2. Mikhail needs a clutch, but the Neuro Theft is out. Oh, what a big round for TSM. I can't believe that they won that. It was just everything was going wrong, and then everything went right, and that is just... Oh, what a round for them.
That was wild, man. I mean, you'd think as soon as you get that ridiculous... Can we talk about that for a second? The kill on a Sub-Rosa over here at short A, just full blind, yields all the info, all the opportunity. The GMD kill onto Hayes that he never should get. Wardell picks up one crucial kill here, the second in his round, but doesn't quite look like the odds are even in their favor now. And Drone just steps into the bomb site and shuts it down, locks down another round for TSM and says, no. We're not giving you haven. Beautiful job from Drone, who's once again probably going to be the MVP of this map, sitting at 20-12 with already so many impactful rounds.
These next 2 rounds, like, this is it. This is critical. This is critical time here for Gen.G. They have to win this. There is just no way around it. Obviously, it'll be match point, but and Wardell wins the fight against Win, but they got to trade it out, and he doesn't because Wardell gets 2.
Oh my God.
There's just so much confidence from him to take that. He had maybe a little bit of support there from Hayes, but he didn't need it. He ended up just
jet
profiting
operator,
from 2.
man. There's nothing but confidence. You can't lose that fight. Well done from Wardell. Wow. And that seems like it could just wrap up this round right here, but a breach ult says potentially otherwise. Sub-Rosa with a huge kill onto Effie's and another one onto Mikhail. And suddenly, it's just GMD in a 1-on-5. Wow. TSM just rocking it.
That
Wardell.
was
wow.
A heartbreaker. And now you're on match point, series point, on an eco round. This was the round you needed to win. It was hyper critical that they did so, but the way that TSM won it, not dropping a single body, and on top of which, they forced the Rolling Thunder out, got 0 value out of it, and thus were able to get that round win. This is basically, if Gen.G manage to pull this one off, it will be stupendous, but boy, it is going to be so hard for them to do so.
I'm just going to say it. That was the dumbest play I've seen all day. Never mind, second dumbest play I've seen all day, and it worked fabulously for Wardell. Wow. Hell of a round. Hell of a series out of him at this point. I mean, we were kind of counting him out in this map with his ability to maybe find entries on the defensive or on the offensive side for TSM. But here on defense, he's finally back into his own, taking different fights each round, and ultimately locking down B as Drone is going to take contact over here at the A bomb site, knows the push is in, waits for his teammates to retake, has several arrows available. That recon dart will aid significantly once they're ready for it. Hayes arrives with the Omen ult. 4-on-5 retake situation. Gen.G needs to hold here.
Yeah. They did manage to get the plant off. Double updraft over, and he gets out. Oh,
The
he
TP
gets
to
out with
heaven.
the teleport at the nick of time, and then player one gets a kill. They're still not going to be out of this yet, though. But as the players start to just dwindle down here, it's down to the final player, GMD, and that is going to do it, folks. TSM, even though they find themselves in an elimination game, they will not be eliminated here from Pop Flash. GG.